people talk about who's the best manager of all time, and you hear Bobby Heenan, Jim Cornette, Paul Heyman. Why do we always forget the mouth of the South? Is he the best manager of all time? I don't know. But it's ridiculous that he's not in that conversation. From Mattel Elite and the Royal Rumble 2022 wave, this is the Build-A-Figure of Jimmy Hart. And the whole reason I haven't reviewed him yet is because I had a really bad experience with this guy. Basically, someone stole the head out of my Yokozuna. And then I got it, and then I had to find the new head, and it was just, ridiculous. But now he's complete, and I feel like we can do a proper review now. For anyone who may not be aware, Jimmy Hart got his big start in the Memphis territory, where he was basically the arch rival, and sometimes best friend, to Jerry the King Lawler. He was, without a doubt, the most important manager to any region, for no other reason than he was the manager who was the main villain. Everyone else might work with the main villain, they might be the mouthpiece or the advocate, but Jerry Lawler's enemy, his big bad, wasn't who he was fighting in the ring, but the person who was just outside. And of course, Jimmy Hart would go on to be in WWE, and even though he had a lot of great moments there, especially when he was managing the Hart Foundation, it just wasn't quite the same. He never had the same importance to that company as he did Memphis, though he was still a legend, to be sure. Then a closer look, and that is a very cartoonish head sculpt, but I think it works really well. It does look very similar to Jimmy Hart. It's not quite that real scan technology, it's an older head sculpt, but I think it still works really well. The hair looks perfect, that Kentucky waterfall of a mullet. And then as for the body, it's just the Build-A-Figure body with the piano key necktie and the pink jacket. It's not the most iconic look for Jimmy Hart, I don't think, but it's definitely really solid. And it's one that works really well with your Hart Foundation, which is why I have a particular love for it. In terms of accessories, you do get an alternate hand, though personally I keep him with that pointer finger. I think it's the best accessory he came with. But he also gets a pair of sunglasses that just go straight into the hairline. It's a very snug fit, almost like they were not even supposed to come out, but they do work. And to be fair, I think the head sculpt looks a lot better with the glasses on, if you can get them straight, that is, my word. There we go. And what is Jimmy Hart without his classic megaphone? Good solid painting on there to get all the hearts. Not the most spectacular accessory in the world, but definitely really solid. I wish they could give him the megaphone that has the teeth and the tongue painted inside, but I guess that's too much of a paint budget for essentially an extra figure. Put him with the Hart Foundation or put him with Honky Tonk, and he's really going to pull your shelf together. I gotta say, I like this guy a lot, even if he's not the best figure.